Hi trader, welcome to Elite Currency. My name is Chris, and today, of course, a focus on the Forex market and gold on the 27th of August. All right, quick update on the dollar index. We spoke about that in our analysis end of last week in saying that this was a bear flag, looking for a break of the bear flag for continuation. You can see that this is a strong downtrend, and we marked that as a wave 4, and indeed price breaking on Friday to the downside. That was just about a day after our analysis, I think, and indeed making the break to the downside. And we saw that under your dollar. We said that the euro dollar should make one more move up, and indeed it did. It broke the bull flag or triangle, whatever you want to call it, the chart pattern basically, and is making an upside dash, as you can see, breaking above these resistance levels. And it's heading towards 120. I think this could be an interesting setup for my view, beginning of next week probably. And you can see strong weekly candle as well, strong daily candle. So basically looking for a bit of a pullback. Let's zoom into lower time frames looking at this 4-hour chart. And you can see that I think that maybe even the hourly chart actually. Let's go there. Yeah, that's better. You can see basically this could be a wave 3. This could still push. It doesn't have to make a retracement. I think at this point, maybe even a 50-minute chart. We'll have to see exactly how the market opens on later today, actually on Sunday. But basically, it could make still one more push up. It could hit this 21 EMA band around 109, and then still make a dash up to maybe 109.75, 119. Sorry, 75. But ultimately, I would like to see, for an hourly chart, it would be good if price makes a bull flag or a triangle back to these moving averages. Sorry, I should do it the other way around. Back to these moving averages like this. If it does that, the moving averages should act as a bouncing spot, and there should be one more higher high at least. All right, so it would be nice if it happened at the beginning of the week on Monday or beginning of Tuesday, this correction and continuation. I would like that trade. That's a setup that I'll be waiting for. I'll be using my SWOT template, looking for basically the candles to turn gray like it did here, and then looking for a candle to turn blue or an arrow like it did here, and looking for a setup. So anyhow, looking for a pullback continuation basically. Pound dollar basically bouncing off 127.50 as expected. That could be a bouncing spot, and I think that it's going to make an A, B, C correction. There is a potential for that, and you can see that price is already making this move up like that, breaking above the 21 EMA band as we speak. So what could be a target? What could be a bouncing spot? I would put a fib from here to here, basically waiting for price to get to the 61.8 or 50 fib zone. I think that could be resistance. You see basically a potential head and shoulders as well. So that could be a factor, a chart pattern like that. Of course, there was good momentum here. I think if this is a 3-wave corrective move up, this could be basically a hook back for more downside on the pound. All right. So for the moment, I think there's enough space for upside, but be aware of this resistance zone at 130, 131. Their price could make, and doesn't have to, but could make a bearish bounce. But until that spot, of course, some upside potential I think possible on the pound. Let's zoom in. 23.6 fib could cause a bit of a bounce, and price might make a retracement back to the 21 EMA. I wouldn't be surprised about that. So it could be interesting to put a fib on a lower time frame, like the hourly chart. And here too, like the euro dollar, maybe wait for a bit of a pullback to the 38.50, 61.8 fib, looking for candlestick pattern confirmations, maybe for a bounce to expand this correction up to 130. Let's move over to the dollar yen. Basically, dollar yen is making a bear flag at strong support levels. You can see, look at these strong support levels on this daily chart, and basically could be in a break or bounce spot. So if it does push through 109, it might be breaking this zone. It is a huge zone, but it could break. Excuse me. Or if price actually breaks above resistance, above 110, there could be a bullish break. So obviously, I'm expecting a bit of dollar weakness. The dollar index broke to the downside. Euro dollar broke to the upside. Pound dollar bounced to the upside. So that could push the dollar yen to the downside. But of course, we have the yen side as well. So will the yen basically throw the dollar yen to the upside? We'll have to find out. I'm keeping an eye on both the 109 and 110 level to find out more about this, whether it's a bounce or break. And to me, it doesn't really matter. I'll just keep an eye on both trend lines. And I think that the time will tell. I'll let price action decide about this one. So regarding one more thing regarding the euro dollar, by the way, you might be wondering what is the target. I don't think I mentioned that to the upside. 120, of course, is the target. That is a round level. It is a psychological level. So yes, any pullback continuation, 119.75, 120 is the target, and if it reaches the target without pulling back, then I'm in a waiting mode. I would need to see a pretty big consolidation first, and then it might break above 120. But obviously, yes, 120 is something to factor in, and it could be something that price retraces, stops at. We'll have to wait and be careful at 120. All right, Aussie completed an ABC correction and seems to be also ready for upside. However, if I look at the Euro odd is pretty much in a strong uptrend at this moment. So if I am trading upside, it looks like to me that the euro dollar could be better than the odd dollar, but doesn't mean that the odd dollar would not move up as well. So it is bouncing off the moving average, actually bounced basically, pulled back, and looks to be continuing at this moment. So zooming back to the 4-hour chart, we see a break of these fractals as well, and these resistance spots, and yes, seems to be slowly moving up. Now, you could look at the hourly chart and see a pretty nasty range here. Look at that choppy kind of movement. That is yucky, but price is trying to break away from it. However, always be careful. When price is trying to break away from these types of zones, it's difficult. It is a headache. It could be quite problematic for price to move away from such a choppy zone. So basically, I don't mind trading it to the upside, but I do need to be cautious, and I would like to see a clear bounce and continue some kind of candlestick pattern around 79.25, 79. But if it goes deeper, well, actually 79.25. If it goes back into 79 or below it, then it's basically back into a range, and this is more like a false break, in fact. All right, so I would need to see almost an immediate turn on the open for me to believe that this is potential upside. I would probably, if anything, let me take a look at the daily chart. Yeah, I'm probably leaning towards actually a break above these fractals, a break, pullback, continue up to 80, and that's a very small zone. Above 80, up to 80.50, that looks a bit better. So yeah, the Aussie, I'm spending a lot of time on the Aussie, as you can see with my analysis, but it doesn't look that great. Yes, it could turn at 79.25. Yes, it could break 79.60. But then there's the 80 level. It would really up in here. There's way up above 80. That's where there's more space, I think. And we can use the Wiz tool to place basically the Wiz level here. And you can see that it really needs to get up. If we use that as a bottom, it really needs to get up above 80 before we get good zone. All right, the dollar CAD, let's move on. Basically at the support level, bounce or break spot from my point of view, challenging the 88.6 fib. That could be very interesting. Is this a 5-wave up for wave A, B, C? If it is, it should respect the 124.50, which is the 88.6 fib. So very curious how price is going to respond to this. If there's a bullish engulfing twin, I mean, the risk is small. There's only a couple of pips risk, but the target could be huge. Of course, however, price could just keep breaking with the downtrend, and that could be the end of that potential bounce. So, 88.6 fibs are lucrative because of the reward to risk ratio. However, if price retraces that deep, it could also be in a downtrend. So there is that flip side to it too. Waiting for a candlestick pattern at the deep fib would kind of solve a little bit of issues like that. So I think that could make sense. Waiting for a engulfing twin, some kind of bullish candlestick pattern at the 88.6 fib might make a good confirmation. But if price breaks below it, right, well, I wouldn't count on a bounce anymore. It could challenge the bottom and then probably after some bear flag break out again. So important decision zone, candlestick pattern for a bounce, break, pullback continuation for downtrend continuation. Gold, I'm having some hesitation whether this is going to retrace deeper. It actually, looking at Friday's candle, bullish candle, price made a dip, but heavily got bought upon that dip. Well, folks, this bearish daily pin bar does not seem to have much effect. It has had 5 days of sideways move, with Friday ultimately being a bullish candle. I am a bit skeptical now. I mean, this was a great bearish signal, but I'm skeptical if price will get even to the halfway mark now at this moment. We'll have to see on Monday. I wouldn't be surprised if Monday ultimately breaks above this 4-hour candle and high, and the daily candle high of Friday. And if it does that, some break, pullback, continuation, and it might start to break up. In that case, it could break basically the 1300 resistance, and yeah, it could start challenging. It could start challenging probably these tops up in here, 1375. So break, pullback, continue. Of course, is a safer way to trade this gold on the weekly chart, waiting for the break of basically, first of all, this high up in here at 1300. All right, let's take a look at the euro odd. I think those are interesting setups because you can see on the daily chart it is pushing up. It made a retracement, but it's just a pullback. It looks like it's continuing. Strong daily candle and strong weekly candle. So zooming back into the 4-hour chart and even 1-hour chart, you can see that I think that this is an interesting pullback continuation potential. It is challenging the third Wiz level at 150.25. So ultimately, I think if it makes a bit of a pullback, I think that there could be a bouncing spot. I'll be looking for a SWAT setup using the SWAT candles or SWAT arrows at around 149.75 probably in the moving average band territory. All right, right in here. And that would look like this, basically, something like this. Blue arrows or blue candles. Or, of course, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Or basically a break above 150.25 and a pullback continue is fine too. In that case, we're getting into the sweet zone between the third and fourth Wiz level, and then later on between fourth and fifth. In that case, there could be good extensions possible on the euro odd. So too on the euro New Zealand, which is a bit further in its development. Here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here I think if it makes a pullback continue, it's even better than the euro odd because it's above the fifth level and it has space to the sixth level, which is 166.50. So that's a sweet zone, potential zone of about 230 or so pips. So that's a lot of potential pips there. And I think if it makes a pullback continuation, that would look good. And here too, I'm looking for a SWAT setup using arrows or candles for that move. And this is one of the best ones, I think, from a SWAT perspective. I think one of the best setups probably for this week. Let's see. Pound odd. Basically not doing much, going sideways, looking, of course, in a downtrend till, had a recent break, but is hesitating. And if you look at the 4-hour chart, it's making a range. It would have to break below the range for bearish break, pullback, continuation, or if it breaks above it, there is divergence between these bottoms, so it could make a dash back up to the long-term moving average and perhaps even to the trend line. All right, so we'll have to see. Pound New Zealand is also a bit indecisive, just like the pound odd. Euro odd and Euro New Zealand are more decisive in their upward motion. Pound odd, Pound New Zealand are looking more corrective. In fact, this is looking like a triangle pattern, of which this is an A, B, C, D, and this could be an E. So will this triangle pattern play out? Time will tell. In any case, if it does, it will need to stay below this particular top. If price does break above this top, price is invalidating the triangle. So that's pretty clear. So if it breaks below this bottom, it is confirming the break of the triangle. So those are the major levels to keep an eye on. When looking at a triangle, we can put a fib from here to here. And basically, these two could still be bouncing spots at the fibs. But if price breaks above the 88.6 fib, then there's a serious chance it's going to break and invalidate the bigger triangle basically at around 179, and then there could be a bullish break. So this bouncing spots, from my point of view, and the blue arrow indicating the breakout, the bullish breakout, and the red arrow indicating the bearish break. Last but not least, the pound yen and the euro yen. Well, pound yen ultimately, I think, is in a kind of an ascending wedge pattern, so that should break to the upside, and price is retesting a support level, so I think there's a decent chance of a bounce. And it is bouncing a bit, so of course that depends on the dollar yen too, but if the dollar yen breaks 110, I could see that price, there is divergence between these bottoms, so I could see price, and it is above the 21 EMA, it could then be sustainable move up, at least to challenge the long-term moving average at 142.50, and perhaps even start an uptrend, right? We'll have to see, step by step. Euro yen is breaking to the upside, and in fact is showing a breakout in its movement. And I was telling actually last week that I have to see if it breaks again like this to long term, or if it breaks to the upside. It's breaking to the upside in this case, and waiting for price basically I think to make a pullback, let's quickly, I don't have the Wiz levels on yet, but let me add that, bear with me, like this. And it's at the third level, breaking a little bit above it by about, let me just quickly check, by about 20 pips. That's already a decent break. So yes, I think that the Euro Yen, just like the Euro New Zealand, Euro New Zealand is still number one, but Euro Yen looks good too, I think. If there is a pullback here too, looking for a SWAT setup. Basically, SWAT setup is trading the continuation, so looking for a pullback continue up to the fourth level and perhaps even the fifth, right? If it breaks above the fourth. So 131.10 and then 132.50 looks interesting too. So all in all, to wrap it up, I can see that the pound against the New Zealand odd and yen is a bit hesitant. It could make basically some trades, but there are correction, consolidation formations happening on those. Euro New Zealand, Euro odd, Euro yen look more interesting for upside for the bullish continuation, in my view. Gold looked good for downside, doesn't look like it is moving down. Therefore, I wouldn't be surprised if there is a break pullback continuation above 1300. Let's see. Then we have the Kiwis and the Aussie. They look ready for upside, but they are still choppy, so more confirmation is needed. Dollar CAD could be at a bouncing spot at 125.450, but looking for confirmation. Pound dollar looking for a pullback for continuation. Euro dollar looking for a pullback for continuation. Dollar yen 110, 109, very important. And that's about it for now. Hope I didn't talk too fast and that you heard me correctly. There was a lot of material to cover here. Maybe an interesting week ahead, I think, with September coming close. Summer trading dying down, I think, and it was anyhow a pretty good August. So let's see. But if you like this video, please share, like, and subscribe. You can find more free material, of course, at elitecurrency.com. Just try out our start package for free, and wish you all great trading. Cheers.